Hey everybody, it's Dan, and this is a video I've wanted to do for quite a while now. I've just been kind of waiting for a logical checkpoint, and last night while I was dipping the skinks that you see me working on in the background, I felt that I hit it, so I thought I would just take some additional footage and throw together this quick video for you. In trying to answer the question of how many models can you dip with a can of Army Painter Quickshade. And I did some digging around on the internet, and I really didn't see an answer to that question. And I'll add a caveat here, which is that I don't dip the model in the traditional sense. I use the brush-on method that you see in the background here, and that I detailed in a video I put out about a year ago, maybe a little more. And I chose this method not because of waste concerns, but simply because I saw the instructional video on how to do it, and I was just terrified at the thought of dipping my model with pliers into some can of Quickshade and then shaking it off. And this happens to give better control, and incidentally, I've found, I think, reduces waste pretty substantially. So you'll see here that I've used probably about a quarter of this can of Quickshade in the course of 18 months, I think is how long I've been using this method to paint. And yeah, I'd say between a third and a quarter. I'd say it airs on a quarter simply because the can wasn't completely full when I first got it, just like any can of paint or anything. It's just below the rim. So yeah, and with that quarter, I guess I'll layer in some footage here of my collection of models that I've painted here in the last 18 months. And you can see it's not insubstantial, the number that I've done. I think I tallied it up last night, and it was just about 450 infantry models, 15 cavalry, and then an assorted number of monsters. So I'm pretty comfortable in saying that it's about 500 models, having used somewhere between a quarter and a third of the can, which maths out to between 1,500 and 2,000 infantry models. I think it's more likely that it'll dry up by the time I get to the bottom, because that also implies about 4.5 to 6 years worth of use out of this can. And as a result, I actually store it in the same way that I store my green stuff, just in a Ziploc bag. I think of green stuff, I think it's like 10 years old. It's still good, just because I've kept it in a Ziploc bag. I did this also because early on in my use of this product, I tried hammering the lid back on, as I would, say, a can of wood stain, and it dented the can because it's much smaller. And so now I use my body weight. I just push down on the lid, and then I put it in this Ziploc bag. And as I said, I really haven't had much drying in this can in the 18 months that I've had it. So hopefully I'll actually be able to get close to that 1,500 model count out of this single can of Quickshade, which is tremendous value. And I really enjoy the effect and the output I'm able to do with this method of painting. I did also want to just, since I've got a minute here, take a moment to talk about brushes. There is a kind of a cost associated with this, which is that you burn through brushes. I shouldn't say burn through. You use a lot of brushes because I've tried cleaning these things. Water doesn't do it. Paint thinner seems to, but I don't really like messing around with it. And the truth is, you can kind of see in some of this footage that the brushes start to fall apart. I don't know if there's something chemical happening, but they the bristles start coming off as you're applying this Quickshade. And so as a result, I've found it's just best, since I'm really rough on brushes anyway, and I have a collection of busted up old, dry brush brushes and craft brushes that my kids used for various projects, to just kind of use them as disposable one-off brushes and then throw them away kind of at the end of their life cycle, rather than trying to have one dedicated brush for this kind of application and then trying to clean it. So I also think that I'll have some additional content coming out here in probably the next couple of months. We have a team tournament coming up at the beginning of April, so I'll have a handful of battle reports from that. And also I had some hobby content ideas that came to me. I was thinking about maybe doing a video on paper banners that I use, and jungle bases that I discovered how to do with this lizard faction in particular. So look out for those. Thanks for checking in. Happy painting, everybody.